Alrighty, we're back. Thought I'd make a very quick video. Again, this is not the, I wanted to explain why the vlog was coming back, why it went away and stuff like that, but that'll come in the next video, don't worry. This video, I just wanted to make a very short. I'm going to try to, my absolute best. It's very difficult for me to do, to keep things succinct and very short. I'm already rambling, 30 seconds in, but trying my best to make this less than give me 7 minutes of your time. So this is what I learned in 7 minutes over the past 4 weeks. Let me preface this and say, over the past 4 weeks, I've been doing a huge amount of volume, especially in the swim. So I went from my first week, my prep week, I did 40K. For some context on that, my biggest week, since I started doing triathlon, was 30, maybe 33, something like that. Before triathlon, I did some massive week, in 2013, maybe 2014. I got my first Garmin that had the lap function for the pool, and I was so pumped up, and I just swam like a maniac for 7 days. And then I went back to running. But in any case, so my prep week this time, so this is 4 weeks ago, was 40K, and I'll get into why I'm doing this and stuff like that in another video, don't worry. But anyways, my prep week was 40K. The week after that, week 2, was 48. Week 3 was just under 53, and this week that I'm on right now will be probably 56 or something like that by the time it's done. And then next week, there'll be a recovery week coming up. So, over this big volume period, in terms of the swim and actually bike, and the run's coming. But anyways, what I've learned in terms of the swim, I think it actually can be kind of helpful maybe for anybody doing any sort of swim training or anything like that. And actually it goes for bike and run too, some of it. Actually all of it can be applied to the 3. So anyways, I think it could be helpful. So, lesson number 1 is before you've even gone in the pool, have a plan. Whether that's a day or a week or whatever, but have a plan of a specific thing to do in the pool. There is absolutely nothing worse than going to the pool and just swimming aimlessly for 2 hours or 2.5 hours, whatever. It's the worst thing in the world. The time will go by like molasses. Have a plan. Have something that you can kind of break the swim up, warm up, little mini set, main set, cool down, and that just will chunk it up. It will naturally chunk the workout up, and you can just tick off the boxes kind of one at a time and say warm up done, mini set, main set, cool down, swim done. So anyways, that's before you even got in the pool. And whether you have somebody doing that for you or you doing it yourself doesn't really matter. But have a plan and actually have an overarching goal, kind of this is what I want to get out of this kind of swim program. This is what I want to improve from my swimming. And there's a lot of good sources. I'll link one underneath. Sarah McClarty has one. She has free swims. She divides them up into A, B, and C. A swim being the hardest and longest, C being the shortest and easiest. And they're really good swims for anyone really to do. But yeah, there's a lot of sources you can do online, or you can get a coach. You can do it yourself, whatever. But anyways, lesson number 1, have a plan so you're not swimming aimlessly, because the time will go by like molasses in that pool. So lesson number 2, now you're getting into the pool. And in the pool, what I've learned over the last 4 weeks of doing this high volume of swimming is do not, and this can go, like I said, for the bike and the run, do not hammer the warm-up. Do not race the warm-up. There's nothing worse than doing a 2K warm-up, having a 5K main set on tap, and being dead by the time the main set even gets there. So take the warm-up very easy. If you want to kind of build it a little bit, but the first length you do in the pool, very easy. Should be very easy. Just getting in, starting to swim. But don't get in and just hammer some 50s out. Not a good way of doing it. Anyways, so that's lesson number 2. Take warm-ups very easy. And take cool-downs very easy. The swim's long enough as it is. There's no point destroying the warm-up to get your average pace looking nicer. The average pace will come down, don't you worry, once the main set gets cracking along. Anyways, that's lesson number 2. Lesson number 3, if you can, I know not everybody can, but if you can, have a group to swim with, have a couple of people you can swim with, even just a couple times a week. It's night and day, the difference between swimming on your own, a 7K swim on your own, and a 7K swim with somebody with you. This morning I did a 7.5K swim. It's a very long swim and a very hard swim, 5-kilometer long main set, and I'm telling you, that swim flew by because I had people with me doing it. The other thing too with it is if you can get people who are a little bit better than you, then it's good to have somebody pushing you along. But more than anything, it just really helps the time pass, and it makes it kind of more enjoyable, and that's kind of like the whole point of it, right? You want to be doing this, the whole point you're doing this is for fun, right? Triathlon in general shouldn't be like, oh my god, we got to do another swim again today. It shouldn't be like that. It should be like, and I know some swims are really hard, and yeah, you're kind of worried about it or nervous or anxious about it, but for the most part, you should be looking forward to the fact that you're getting to work out every single day and get your body in phenomenal physical shape. There's nothing better than this. Anyways, so that was lesson number 3. Lesson number 4, this goes for pre, during, and post, but I'm going to focus on more during. The during is that in terms of nutrition, what I'm talking about is lesson number 4. Nutrition is very important. It's just as important in swimming as it is in any of the bike and the run. But it is amazing to me that during the swim, it's amazing how many people go to the pool with absolutely nothing with them. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to play that, oh, I'm the expert. I was the exact same. I used to go to the pool with nothing. Like, absolutely 0 calories, not even a water bottle. Nothing. And anyways, as over the last 4 weeks, I learned very quickly on the first week, the swims are long enough that you need carbohydrates. If it's a 2.5-hour swim or a 2-hour-long swim, you absolutely need carbohydrates. Even for me, if it's only an 1.5-hour swim, because I'm doing a bike after, take carbs during, because if you have a bike coming up right after, you don't want to have it that you've had a 4-hour gap since breakfast, since the last time you've consumed anything before you starting the bike. So, take stuff during the swim, 100%. Especially if it's an outdoor pool. If it's an outdoor pool, you know you're going to be under the sun all day, so make sure you have something with some electrolytes in it and play around with it. I had to do a lot of playing around with my nutrition in terms of the swim. I found that I can only concentrate my bottles a certain amount because it just got too sweet and gave me some stomach problems. So I had to play around with it a lot, especially because I'm using a new nutrition right now. Well, not really a new nutrition, but over the last few weeks I've been using just Gatorade because it's cheaper, and I don't want to just blow through 50 servings of Tailwind in 1 week of swimming. With the volume being as high as it is, it would cost me an absolute fortune to be taking Tailwind morning, afternoon, and night. So, anyways, point is make sure you're taking something during the swims, play around with it to find what you can kind of handle, because swimming is a little bit different than the bike and the run. They're not the same. Post, I'm not going to get into post. I'm going to keep this a little bit shorter, but you're going to need some sort of protein drink. Post, 20 grams of protein with maybe 3 or 4 to 1 carbohydrate to protein ratio. And lesson number 5, with the volume being as high as it is, stay on top of things. Do not let a little niggle in your shoulder become a full-blown rotator cuff problem. So, I'll admit I've had some soreness in my shoulders here or there over the last 4 weeks, but I've been super on top of it that as soon as I felt it in my shoulders, took off the paddles, no more paddles. We're going back crawl, a lot of back crawl on this swim. And when I get home, I'm putting ice on the shoulders, I'm doing cupping on the shoulders, I'm rolling out the lats, I'm stretching the lats, I'm stretching pec major and minor, etc., getting massage, getting dry needling on it, whatever you can do, whatever you can afford. But making sure to stay on top of things, because with the volume being so high and not really that much true recovery, it's very easy for a little problem to become a major problem. So anyways, those are my 5 lessons from the swim. To review: 1, planning; 2, taking warm-ups, very easy; 3, I'm going to get rained on in about 2 seconds. 3, finding people to swim with, making it more enjoyable. Time passes quicker. 4, nutrition. Before, during, after. Make sure you're taking something with you. Don't just go to the pool with absolutely nothing. It's silly. And 5, staying on top of things. If you have any aches and pains, make sure you address them in whatever way is appropriate for them. And it is going to it is a torrential downpour in about 2 seconds, and the video is done. Alrighty, that's it for now. See you next time. Next time I'll talk about what the heck why I'm doing so much swimming in the first place and volume in the first place. We'll get into that later, but it is going to be a torrential downpour, so I got to go inside.